AITA for stopping all payments after my girlfriend said she deserved more of a say. I, 29, had been with Brielle, 27, for 3 years when she dropped that bombshell during what I thought was just a normal Tuesday dinner. We had been living together for 6 months in a nice 2-bedroom apartment. Nothing fancy, but it had exposed brick walls that she had decorated and a balcony where I could grill. The rent was $2,400 a month. I've been thinking, she said, pushing food around her plate with her fork. Since I make $8,500 a month and you only make $6,500, I should have a bigger say in our financial decisions. It's only fair. I put down my fork. A bigger say? How so? Like, where we go on vacation, what furniture we buy, which services we keep. I contribute more, so my vote should be worth more. The thing is, she wasn't wrong about our salaries. She worked in pharmaceutical sales. I was a technical writer at a software company. But what Brielle conveniently forgot was everything else I covered. You're absolutely right, I said, taking a sip of my beer. Your money, your rules. She was surprised I agreed so easily. Really? You're not going to argue? Nope. Starting tomorrow, we'll split everything proportionally to our income. Fair is fair. She smiled and kissed me. I knew you'd understand. That's why we work so well together. That night, I made my own spreadsheet. Brielle had a very selective memory when it came to money. Yes, her salary was higher. But here's what she always forgot. Her car. I paid the insurance, $180 a month, because I got a multi-vehicle discount on my policy. The internet was entirely on me, $95 a month, because I worked from home more. Groceries, I covered about 80% because I did the shopping. Her gym membership was on my credit card, $60 a month, ever since she'd been laid off 2 years prior. Streaming. All 5 services were on my accounts, totaling $75 a month. Her cell phone was still on my family plan, $45 a month, to save money. The next morning, I started making changes. I canceled her phone line with a text. I'm porting your number to another carrier. You'll need to set up your own plan before the end of the day. The reply was instant. What the hell? What? You make more money, so you should have your own plan. I'm sure you'll find something better than the one I had. Next, I removed her car from my insurance and sent her the contact info for my Geico agent. I changed the passwords for Netflix, Prime Video, Max, Disney Plus, and Apple TV. I canceled her gym membership, effective immediately. By noon, my phone was blowing up. I was in a meeting, so I couldn't answer. When I finally checked, I had 23 messages that went from confused to angry, and then to threatening. That night, she was waiting for me in the living room with a laptop. What is this? I couldn't watch my show on my lunch break, and Planet Fitness said you canceled my membership. I'm just implementing your new system. Since you earn more, you should pay for your own things. I'll pay 43% of our shared expenses, and you'll pay 57%. That's proportional to our salaries. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She stammered a bit, then opened a spreadsheet. Look, I made a budget. See, I pay more for rent. Actually, let me show you something. I opened my own spreadsheet. Here's everything I've been paying for. The color drained from her face when she saw the real numbers. With everything I covered, I was paying hundreds of dollars more per month than she was, even though I earned $2,000 less. But I pay for dinner sometimes. Twice last month, I have the receipts. This is a serious situation. No, this is exactly what you asked for. Proportional responsibility based on income. Update 1. Brielle thought she could turn things around. First, she tried to guilt trip me. She made a big show of preparing dinner, which in practice was just heating up frozen chicken from Costco, and got all affectionate. Babe, I think we both overreacted. Let's go back to how things were. I'm fine with the new arrangement, I said, taking a bite. This chicken is great, by the way. She slammed her fork on the table. You're being petty. I'm being proportional. Your word, not mine. Then came the nuclear option. She called her mom, Deborah. And Deborah is the kind of woman who thinks her daughter can do no wrong. Brielle put her on speakerphone without telling me. I can't believe you're financially controlling my daughter. Deborah yelled. Hi, Deborah. Actually, Brielle decided she should have more control because she makes more money. I'm just respecting her wishes by taking her off my phone plan and letting her pay for her own phone like an adult. Brielle snatched the phone off the table and hung up. But here's where it gets good. Remember I said Brielle worked in pharmaceutical sales? Well, She had a big conference coming up. She'd been talking about it for weeks, saying she was going to network, make connections, and probably get a promotion. The conference was in another state. Guess who paid for her TSA pre-check? Guess whose credit card held all her frequent flyer miles? Guess who covered the shared Uber account? She came to talk to me on Thursday night, all quiet. So, about the conference. What about it? I need to book the ticket. Okay. The company only reimburses after the trip. Sounds like the policy hasn't changed. She gritted her teeth. Can I borrow your credit card, just for the ticket? Why would I do that? You make more than me. You should have savings. And that's when she snapped. She started screaming that I was sabotaging her career, that I was jealous of her success, that I was a pathetic little man who couldn't handle a strong woman. I just stood there, eating my sandwich. When she was done, I said, "Are you finished?" "Because I am." She threw a coaster at me. It missed. That night, she must have called all her friends. I know because my Instagram was suddenly flooded with messages from her friends calling me toxic and manipulative. Her best friend, Kelsey, even sent me a voice memo saying I was literally abusing Brielle. I replied to all of them with the same message. She makes $2,000 more a month than I do. She decided she should have more financial control. I agreed. Where's the issue? Only one replied. Jillian. Wait. She makes more than you. She told all of us you controlled all the money because you made double her salary. I sent Jillian a screenshot of Brielle's own spreadsheet showing our incomes. Jillian never replied again. Update 2. So, Brielle made her spreadsheet. The real one. She presented it to me on Sunday morning like it was a TED Talk. All on her iPad, full of colors and charts. I've been tracking everything, she announced. And look what I discovered. According to her calculations, when you factored in emotional labor and aesthetic contribution, she was actually contributing far more to the relationship. I'm not kidding. It had line items like interior design consulting, $5,000 per month for picking out throw pillows, social coordinator, $3,000 per month for replying to Instagram comments on our couple photos, meal planning, $2,500 per month. Despite the fact she only ordered delivery and relationship maintenance for $1,000 per month. To this day, I have no idea what that was. So, actually, she said triumphantly, you owe me money. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. Are you charging me for imaginary services? They're not imaginary. I make our apartment feel like a home. You bought 3 pillows at Target. It's about the aesthetic. That's when I dropped my own bomb. Perfect. Then I'm going to charge you for my services, too. I pulled out my phone and started listing them. IT support, $80 per hour for every time I fixed your laptop. Auto maintenance, $150 a month, since I take both cars for oil changes. Handyman services, $500 a month. I assembled all the furniture and hung all the pictures. Personal trainer, $100 per session, since you insisted I help you work out. Accounting services, $300 a month. I do our taxes. This is ridiculous, she screamed. More ridiculous than charging me for pillows. She grabbed her iPad and stomped out. But the best part was, she forgot to lock her spreadsheet. When I looked closer, I saw other tabs. One was called Exit Strategy. I clicked on it. This woman was planning to break up with me after she got her promotion. It was all mapped out. She was going to string me along for 2 more months while I covered expenses, get the promotion and the bonus, and then disappear. She even had apartment listings saved. I took pictures of everything. Then I texted the landlord asking about the lease. I found out that since I was the only one who had signed it, Brielle had forgotten to add her name, saying she'd do it later. I could give 30 days notice whenever I wanted. I started looking for my own place that same day. She couldn't pay for the flight or the hotel. The company required receipts for reimbursement, and her credit cards were maxed out trying to maintain her lifestyle without my help. She had been living paycheck to paycheck the whole time, spending everything on clothes and nights out, because I covered the boring stuff. Her boss was not happy. The conference was where they were going to announce the new territories. She missed the chance to get the one she wanted. She came home crying that night. For a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered the Exit Strategy tab. This is all your fault, she sobbed. I'm going to get fired. You're not going to get fired. You just won't get promoted. How do you know? Because you're good at your job. You're just terrible with money. She tried to get close. Babe, please. I'm sorry about the spreadsheet. I was an idiot. Can we just go back to normal? Define normal. You know, like before. You mean, when I paid for everything while you planned to leave me? She froze. What? I saw the tab. Exit strategy. The silence became heavy. That was just theoretical. Like, everyone thinks about that stuff sometimes. Does everyone plan down to which moving company they're going to use? She started crying again, but these weren't sad tears, they were angry tears. You went through my private things. You left it open on the shared iPad. Besides, you broke my trust when you told your friends I was creating an unsafe financial environment for you when you make more money. She stood up. I want you out of here. Don't worry, I already gave notice. I'm out in 2 weeks. What? I found a cool studio closer to work. Rent's only $1,400. It's amazing what you can afford when you're not funding someone else's lifestyle. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. Wait, the lease is only in your name. But where will I go? Over the next 2 weeks, she tried everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. First came the love bombing. She'd wake up early to make me coffee. One time she accidentally used salt instead of sugar. She wore lingerie I'd bought her for Christmas. She even pretended to be interested in my video games. When that didn't work, she tried manipulation. She posted old photos on Instagram with captions like, "Remember when we were happy?" And some people give up too easily. Her mom started leaving comments like, "You two are perfect together, don't let pride destroy love." Then came the threats. She said she'd tell my boss I was harassing her. I showed her the security camera footage I had saved of her throwing things at me. She threatened to sue me for illegal eviction. I showed her the lease with only my name on it. Finally, she tried to bargain. What if I pay all the rent? You can live here for free. With what money? You couldn't even afford a plane ticket. I'll get a second job. You can barely handle your first one. The day I moved out, she followed me around the apartment whimpering, not crying, just whimpering like someone had died. You're really going to do this? You're going to throw away 3 years. You threw them away when you made that spreadsheet planning to leave me. That was just a fantasy. It was also a fantasy to believe you could treat me like an ATM. I put the last box in my car. She stood in the doorway, mascara running down her face. You're going to regret this. No one will ever love you like I do. I certainly hope not. Final update. I'm writing this from my new place. It's small, but it's mine. No decorative pillows, no aesthetic contribution, just my stuff exactly where I want it. So, what happened to everyone? Brielle had to move back in with her parents. The building required proof of income 3 times the rent to take over the lease, and even with her salary, she didn't qualify without a cosigner. Her dad refused. You're 27. Figure it out. She texted me last week. Living with my parents is hell. My dad is making me pay rent, and my mom won't do my laundry anymore. I didn't reply. Her friend Jillian reached out to apologize. She found out Brielle had been lying to everyone about her finances. She'd claimed I controlled everything, monitored her spending, and made her ask for permission to buy things. When Jillian confronted her after Brielle couldn't go to Kelsey's birthday party and finally admitted why, Jillian was furious. She owes me like $500 from all the times I lent her money because she said you wouldn't let her spend. The promotion Brielle was so sure she was getting went to a coworker who actually attended the conference. That coworker was Monica, who Brielle always called too basic for sales. Monica now makes over $95,000 a year. Brielle's mom, Deborah, called me once. I hope you're happy. You ruined my daughter's life. She makes over $100,000 a year and has a master's degree. If her life is ruined, that's on her. She had to buy a used Honda. It's awful. You are a petty, small man. And your daughter is a spoiled brat who never learned that actions have consequences. Now we know where she gets it from. She hung up on me. But here's the most absurd part. Remember the exit strategy spreadsheet? Brielle forgot the iPad was logged into her Google account. That meant I could see her search history. 2 days before she came to me with her "I make more money" speech, she had searched how to get boyfriend to pay more bills, financial gaslighting techniques, make partner feel guilty for earning less, and whoever earns more should pay more. She had planned the whole thing. She thought she could manipulate me, make me feel bad about earning less so I would overcompensate by paying for even more. She set her own trap. Last I heard, She's dating some sales guy named Cameron who keeps promising he's going to get rich from his NFT collection. Her Instagram is full of pictures at expensive restaurants where you can see the reflection of her credit card being declined in his sunglasses. Meanwhile, I started dating Avery from my cycling club. She makes her own money, pays her own bills, and when we go out, she actually offers to split the check. Crazy concept, right? The first time she sent me her half via money transfer, I almost cried. She thought I was having an allergic reaction to the Thai food. I didn't tell her. I'm just not used to dating an actual adult. She laughed. Is the bar that low? It was subterranean. We're planning a trip to the Smoky Mountains next month. We're splitting everything 50-50. She made her own spreadsheet to track expenses, but it's a normal one. No charges for emotional labor, no aesthetic contribution, just real costs divided fairly. A friend asked if I regret how things ended with Brielle. Regret not paying for someone who was planning to leave me? Regret not funding the lifestyle of someone who thought I was pathetic? Regret standing up for myself when I was being used as a walking ATM? I looked at my bank account. For the first time in 3 years, I had actual savings. So no, man. It was the best decision I've ever made. Oh, and Brielle's last text, sent at 2 a.m. last Saturday. Cameron's NFTs were a scam. Can I borrow $500? I promise I'll pay you back. I sent her a link to Indeed.com. Then I blocked her. Easy there, edit. For everyone asking how I stayed so calm, I wasn't. I was furious. But I learned a long time ago that the best response isn't to make a scene. It's to let people face the consequences of their own choices. Brielle wanted financial control based on her income. She got it, just not in the way she imagined. Edit 2. For those saying I should have communicated better, I tried. For 2 years, I tried to talk about splitting things fairly. She always said we'd figure it out later or that it all evened out in the end. It only became an issue when she thought she could squeeze more out of me. Edit 3. No, I'm not getting back together with her. Stop saying everyone deserves a second chance. She had 3 years of chances. She chose spreadsheets and manipulation instead. Comment. Navigating relationships can be one of the most complex parts of life. I believe true partnership is built on mutual respect, not just numbers on a spreadsheet. Remember that your value is not determined by what you provide for someone else. Setting healthy boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation. It is a quiet way of teaching others how you deserve to be treated. Sometimes the most courageous choice is to choose your own peace over a familiar storm. Healing takes root when you start making choices that honor your own well-being. I hope you always remember to be your own strongest advocate in any relationship. Real love should feel like a safe harbor, not a constant negotiation. You deserve a connection where you feel seen, valued, and genuinely respected for who you are. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.